Hi guys, this is Naughty Bear, and guess what we're going to do today? We are not going to get naughty, but we're going to get better at Nexus Wars, because this tutorial is about countering. The way I structured it is I am going to put some units on the left, and I'm going to put some units on the right, and then we're going to speed up the time and see what happens. So if anybody wants to make some bets as to the outcome of this engagement, we have Immortal on the left and the Sentry on the right. Let us see what happens and let's see who wins. Well, as probably all of you have guessed correctly, Immo just raped one Sentry. Let's speed up the time and see how many sentries do we actually require to kill that nasty Immo on the left. Okay. Wait for a clean test. Okay. 3 sentries are out on the right and 1 Immo on the left. Predict your outcome, make your bets. See, Immo's shield is gone, 2 sentries remain. Immo is almost killed. 1 sentry is still standing. Is it going to be Immo or Sentry? Immo or Sentry? Immo or Sentry? Immo. See that 1 Immo will counter up to 3 sentries. But Immo, because it has slightly higher build time, is going to slowly lose its ground. There we go. Sentries fight back. There we go, another exchange. You can see that Immo is slightly being pushed. Or they're kind of like hanging out in the same general area. The point is, if your teammate is saving his money to roll out that early Immo and you're facing with a roach sentry push that I had simulated by building a bunch of roach and a bunch of sentries, well, that Immo, let's see, 2 of them. If 2 of them are facing a roach sentry push, then voila, roach sentry is not performing all that well. So a delayed or a countered roach sentry push is going to be raped by 2 Immos. But if those guys are stacked together, let's say here you see 2 roach, 3 sentries, and somebody's just rolling out their immortal, well, they're going to have a very, very hard time turning that wave. So be careful with rushing that early Immo. It's not going to rape those 3 sentries. It will just more or less break even. Party. Okay. That can wait. We have more important things to do, like waste time on this tutorial. Okay. I think we're done with this Immo versus Sentry. What is next? Lo and behold, my favorite encounter. It is Immo and the Warhound. So let me just clean things up. Boom, 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 boom. We have an Immo resting. Make your bets. Who will win this exchange? 1 Immo or 1 Warhound? Contrary to popular belief, bro, I'm gonna make some Warhounds, they're just gonna rape those Immos. It is the Immo that survived, with 200 health and a bunch of shields. Conclusion, Warhound does not rape Immo. Okay, it is the other way around. And that is the counter that inspired me to make this long video. So I'm going to make 3 Warhounds. And let's see how 3 Warhounds perform against 1 Immortal. Oops, not so fast. Okay, Immo is waiting. Warhounds are out. 1 Immo versus 3 Warhounds. Let's see. Warhounds get the first shot. Their range is 7. Immo's range is 6. That is predictable. Warhounds are almost 1 man down. Okay. Okay, now it's 2 on 1. Warhounds keep on going. Okay. Let's make 2 Warhounds versus 1 Immo, and let's wait when we can get a clear picture of what's going on. Well, the clear picture is that we have 2 Immos and 2 Hounds. I don't have enough time to clean them out, but okay, we have 1.75, 1.8 Warhounds, and we have 1 Immo facing them. Make your bets. Let's see how Warhound is gonna rape that Immo, man! Nope. 1.8 Warhounds fall to 1 Immo. So, as you can see, clearly you need at least 2 Warhounds to beat 1 Immo. So, if somebody's going Warhounds to counter Immo, 175 minerals, same capacity, or like same supply limits, whatever, they are going to have a really, really fast game losing. Especially when somebody is trying to put Warhounds in the middle to counter Immo in the middle. See? 2 Warhounds, 1 Immo. We have almost dead Warhound as an outcome. Now some people may argue that, you know what? You have to have mass Warhounds to counter mass Immos. Well, let's take a look. 5 Immortals on the left. On the right hand side we have 9 Warhounds. Let us check out the outcome of that exchange. Okay, 5 versus 9. Make your bets. Who's gonna dominate this exchange? Is it gonna be Immo or Warhound? Here we go. Looks like Warhounds may have a chance, but no. 9 Warhounds fall to 5 Immortals. Okay, that's how bad this counter is. Any suggestions or tips for the people who are trying to counter Immortals with Warhounds? Well, they are going to have tough luck. 45 seconds build time, identical. No speed boosters for either of the units. And there you go. 5 to 9. You can easily hold Terran. Okay, well, enough of that. I would say, let's see what I did next. Okay. Mass Immos versus Mass Warhounds. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 25 Warhounds versus how many did I make? I made 14. So 25 Warhounds on 14 Immos. And let me see. That's not. Let's fast forward to when it's going to become a bit clean. Okay, there you go. So 25 Warhounds versus 14 Immos. Now this is slightly outside of that 2-to-1 range. This is the only time when the range of fire is going to come into play. Yeah, I watched this replay when I was setting it up. And this is the only time when, oh god, 25 Warhounds versus 14 Immos, and Immo just tanks through it. Tanks. Let's see what is next. Can we break immortals with any of the Terran mech? Now in the top right corner, I believe, what do I have? I have my supply. So I have my Toss supply at 93, my left side supply at 93. No, my right hand side supply 93, my left hand side supply at 58. So I have 14 Immos, and I have a whole bunch of Terran mech. Clearly, Terran mech has more items that they consumed and more whatnot, more units. So when people are trying to counter this immortal train in elite circles or in pro quote-unquote circles referred to as the pain train with Terran mech, good luck. This is what's going to happen. Terran mech is gonna get pushed, it's gonna get raped, Immos are gonna force nukes or cannons or both or whatever. So lesson of today, Immo beats Terran mech 2-1. I got 15 hounds, 6 tanks, and 4 Thors, and it just gets ugly. I have to use Zeratul. If I have to use Zeratul to keep my buildings alive, it is a nuke in a regular game. Period. Okay, well, alright, let's see, what did I do next? Can't push, can't get any momentum. Enough of that. Okay, let's wait for these units to clear themselves out. Boom. Okay, so 3 Immos, and you see your partner is like, bro, we're facing some Immos, bro. It's okay. I'm gonna counter with Warhounds. And you go like facepalm. Okay, and you're like, no, man, it's the other way around. Immos counter Warhounds, man. Don't do it, man. He's like, you don't teach me how to play. I play 5 games. I know what I'm doing. All right. So let us see. I couldn't, I disregarded Marines and Ghost and other things simply because, I don't know, in my experience, when I play one-on-one with other people and they're trying to go Terran, I usually play a mix of Toss and Zerg. They are not having a great day. Wall, gate, other techniques, he's just not happy. So let's say your teammate is playing Terran and he's good at syncing, so he got his 3 Warhounds synced. Let's see what we can do to prevent the rape. Obviously we are much higher on supply here with 3 Queens. Queens are not going to sync with Warhounds that well. It's 40 to 45 seconds. However, see if Queens are going to be enough of a sponge, damage sponge, so that Warhounds can survive. I'm thinking about a scenario when you see Toss on the other side, you see your partner on your side making Warhounds, and you have enough time to perhaps roll out those queens or any other units, and then try to make something happen against Immos. I've added Hydra. They may or may not sync. They kind of sync okay. 30 to 40, meet at 120. This guy is not far off from the Hound. So I'm gonna let... I'm thinking that maybe Queen can be that damage sponge, and Hydra can do that high DPS unit that you can kind of transition behind Queens and deal with those Immos. I did level out, I added more Immos, you know, to kind of simulate real game time situation. Okay, here we go. Hydra is out. Some people think that Hydra is going to counter Immo. Well, let's take a look at that. How much Hydra can... Well, no, it just doesn't. Early one, when economy is limited, perhaps, there's going to be some break-even or soft counter of immortals. But when the pain train is out and it has picked up a speed and momentum and it's rushing towards your base, Hydra is not going to magically turn things around. Here we go. So now we have moderate amount of sync. Immos kill Hydra, so they do damage 80 to Hydra as opposed to 50 to Warhound. And well, they're pushing, you know. It's not a magic combo that will turn things around. And I am 7. I had 7 or 6 on the supply. We turned. This is nice. So there we go. What's next? Plausible. I'd say plausible. Compared to the total annihilation that we had witnessed previously, that Zergish buffer, like queens and some light units with high DPS, at least it does not allow immortals to rape. I mean, at least it doesn't allow. Okay, let's see. Yeah. So what I would do next, because like we're going back and forth, and we're not really developing a strong push, there's no strong counter, I would add a few swarm hosts. They would stack up behind that Zerg shield and provide even stronger shield for Warhounds. It's good to develop forward momentum. It is not good to turn waves around. And hopefully then you can carry your Terran friend to the victory and to a really good game. I guess the solution to Immo versus Warhound, common misconception by the way, is to buffer Warhounds with other units. Now I'm going to buffer these guys with Archons now and see how they perform. Immortal does not have this 50 damage, this generous 50 damage thingy versus Archon, because Archon is not armored. And I like the outcome. The issue is 50, 45. So it's plausible. It's not a let us turn things around combo. If somebody's going Warhound and you're facing with immortals, probably you don't have enough money or time to roll out those 3 Archons, but having them as a buffer and maybe some other buffering units, like maybe you can roll out Colossus or something, some other buffers. Sorry, Colossus is not a buffer, but other buffers and some other units to help deal with the mortals. You can balance your lane. Other than that, this mid game is just keeping the game alive and not falling behind on nukes and not falling behind on income by having to waste money on numerous cannons. By the way, among the pro community, cannons are not welcomed. I don't have anything against cannons. A tool is what a tool does. So if the cannon works to get you your advantage, then use it. Okay, cleanup time. Let's kill those Immos. Started with like a countering game, turned out to be Immos versus everything. And to a certain degree, it is the truth. There's a grown popularity to mass Immos in the mid-draw among players. Now, what about Hydra versus Immo? Okay, 2 Immo versus 2 Hydra. Well, make your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Immos are out. No more bets. I mean, okay. Alright. I hope everybody got it right. Let's see 4 and 4. So slightly higher. I want to have a clear test. Slightly higher income mineral count to roll out this army. This army costs 400 minerals. This army costs 350. This one is gonna go out faster. This one is gonna be a bit slower. But other than that, it's pretty even Stevens. And there you go. Early Hydra, maybe. You can get away with a counter, some repair work and stuff. Later on, unless you have a buffer, just like a buffer that we did for Warhounds, Immortals are going to have a pretty good time coming through those light Zerg units. Now I'm going to add a few Queens, and Queens are going to be on rapid transfusion. Are they? Yes, there they are. So rapid is better for smaller units, because see, almost indestructible these guys are. So what happens here, slightly, those units are upgraded, by the way, in terms of range. So slightly less range for Queen puts the Queen up front. It has 200 life. So Immo wastes their 20 damage on 200 of life, while Hydra Lisk does what it does best, which is do high DPS, and now we're getting some momentum. I've put 4 Immos because obviously more supply is going to get some momentum, but this is what like a real life scenario. People who play Zerg, they're gonna, because of the income constraints, they're gonna be able to roll out Zerg units much faster as opposed to Immortals. However, when the wave is turned, and there are ideally 4 synced Immos coming out, there are numerous ways to turn the waves and speed it up a little bit. So there you go. Even Steven supplies, even Steven minerals. Let's say Zerg wave is turned, and let's see how Immos perform. Will they be turned by Zerg? Not really. Yeah. Second wave of Immos came down, so those Queens and Hydralisk, all they did pretty much on the return, they stacked Immos. Conclusion? Well, you need something else to turn the Immo wave. And you can use a variety of techniques. It could be mid-row help. It can be dragging. I don't know, it can be going quickly air if they don't have air countered, like Mothership Cores or Banshees or Muta, quick air units that will help you deal with the Immo train. Maybe one cannon and a little bit of dragging just to help you turn the wave around. Something like that. But in one-on-one developed Immos are going to rape through light Zerg. Okay, let's see. Let's see performance or countering of early game situation. So in early game, it is reasonable to assume that somebody had 2 Hydra, 1 Queen, and we're facing with 2 Immortals. Well, maybe this was a little bit aggressive. I doubt that somebody's going to have 2 Immortals right off the bat. So I'm not sure what I was doing here. Immo is a tank. You know, it's not the unit that cannot be countered, but it counters Terran Mech. It can counter Ultra, especially when their Immo is combined with other slow down effects units. Oh yeah, so now I changed my mind properly. Proper test. So early game situation. 2 Hydra, 1 Queen, 1 Immo. Let's see what happens. If you somehow stack Zerg units, yeah, if you somehow stack Zerg units, maybe by manipulating Hydra spawn. So you see the Queen come out, you wait 10 seconds and you reset Hydra, and they're all going to come out at the same time the next time. Then early game you have a pretty good chance of turning Immo. Now, is Immo such a tank and can be Immo countered? Next we're going to do Toss comparison. So 1 Immortal versus 1 Archon. Make your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Who's gonna win? Immo versus Archon. Shields are gone. So Archon is doing its 25. I hope. Damage. to this guy because he's not biological. And there we go. We got about 100 left in Archon. So, not a hard counter. About the same build time. 1-on-1, not a hard counter. Let's test more, because Archon has splash damage. So when you have a little bit more Archons, I have 3, they are going to do some splash damage to other Immos. So let's see the performance. It noticeably gets better. Because of the splash damage, Archons start to gain ground and counter immortals. See? Yeah. Immos are being pushed. One drawback, though, is that you can repair Immos because they have life of 200 quite successfully. You cannot repair Archons because their life is 10. So there we go. Okay, so 3 versus 3, 1. We have there 7 versus 7. Immos are out. Archons are out. Oops. 7 versus 7. It gets better. So we're still good. 7 versus 7. Sorry, because like we're trying to beat Immos who are on the same side. 5 should be 7, no? Okay. So we're still good. Now, when it comes down to mass on mass, I will try to match it by supply, do my best. So mass on mass, let's see. Because of their short range, Archon has to do a lot of movements before they fire. This guy took a break. Unbelievable. Is this going to be a clean test? The cannons are not engaging. Oh, they are. Okay, it's not going to be a clean test. But it's plausible. Even mass on mass, Archon's kind of doing pretty well. Okay, now we're gonna get a clean test. My Immos are untouched. Okay, they're out. There we go. Mass on mass, same supply toll, and Archon still come out on top, which is pretty impressive, given the fact that they have a small range. So, well, this is tricky because they had enough space here to go around those immortals and become useful. What happens a lot when people have a lot of Archons, they are kind of constrained by the size of the lane, and most of them just are doing their dance in the background, just moving from one side to another without really doing any damage. And because these guys have much stronger, better range, they will be firing on those Archons. You see all these like 3 or 4 rows of Immos are firing while the other ones are stacking. So you can see that a range of 1.75 whatever versus a range of 1.6, sorry, so it's a 4. So what will happen in reality is we're going to have 4 rows of immortals shooting at 1 row of Archons. And this is when when armies are at large, range becomes important. Now these guys, they don't have the opportunity to go around immortals. So the guys at the back, they're just moving up and down, waiting to be slaughtered, while you see there's like three rows of immortals are firing, and the rest of them are just doing nothing. This is an important... oh god, now we have so many immortals. Yeah. Now that the Immos are stacked, Archons are definitely gonna lose. Okay, definitely gonna lose. This is when... so, one-on-one Immo versus Archon, slight Archon advantage. Small army versus small army, Archons have the advantage when range does not kick in, and Archons take advantage of splash damage. And army on army, Immo is definitely going to win because of the range difference. Now, I don't have my... this is just a cleanup. I don't have my heroes, so I made something up to clean up all of these immortals. Yeah. Finally had to nuke. What's next? Alright. Archons versus Scouts. I have 3 Scouts, which is 450, and I have 1 Archon. Alright, well, this is... make your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what happens. So 3 against 1. Some splash happening. Splash is happening. It's not armored, so they do 20, I guess, damage to Archon. And wow. Are they upped? Yeah, they are. So 2.5 Scouts beat 1 Archon in 1-on-1. Of course, Archons face the same issue. When you make a whole bunch of Archons, they will not be attacking at the same time. So let's see, I have 6 Archons. Let's see how they perform versus... mass Scouts, I guess. How does 6 Archons perform versus 18 Scouts? I have no idea why I have so many. But let's see. Okay, these guys are out. Now what happens is Scouts have this ability. They're extremely long range compared to Archons, and they spread out. Unlike other air units, when they're facing ground, they spread out, so Archons don't benefit from splash damage. 6 Archons, I would suppose to have 18, yeah, about 18 Scouts to have the same outcome as I had when I had 1 Archon and 3 Scouts. But you see, because these guys spread out, Archons are not that great. They lose their effectiveness. I think this is the point and the big lesson of today. Immo will rape Terran Mech. Archons will lose their effectiveness. when you have massing effects. They're a good buffer, but they're not a silver bullet. As you can see, you need less scouts to beat Archons as you increase unit count. Okay, I got 12 versus 6. Let's see what happens. Not clean. Clean-ish, I guess. Clean-ish. Faster build time, faster speed, I guess. 3.75. Slightly higher speed with upgrades. And the effectiveness of Archons just falls out. So it could be like a good momentum kind of like thingy. Get a few Archons to shut down those early scouts or something, and then transition into something that will counter scouts very well. Yeah. Now it's 2-to-1 ratio and they're being pushed. Let's see if Infestor is going to have any effect. I build Infestor to slow down the movement of Archons. And it's not that good. It just wastes its charge on the front line. So maybe you can get away with initial attack, but when it's trailing behind, a lot of it is going to be wasted on the Archons that are already there. We have next Archons and Voids, which can be combined based on build time. Synced together. They can be synced together. I'm off on my supply. There we go. Spits 3. Does not affect the Archons trailing back. So if you have like a really long range unit like Colossus, it can get an extra attack at Archons, but Infestor, I'm not impressed. Simply not impressed with its performance. Anyway, I think you had fun. I think you learned something about countering in this tutorial. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I will make a few more tutorials, one about syncing and another one about nuking. Enjoy the game and let's get more quality people playing Nexus Wars. Bye.